This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather. Hello, there's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to a brand new month of Sports Catastrophe, and we are doing it on this day today. And on this day, August the 1st, 1936, one of the most controversial Olympics ever opened up. It was the Berlin Olympics and all that. There were some interesting pictures, but to go with the story, but because they had the Nazi salute or the Nazi emblem, I basically had to go with the Olympic bell, like the poster and all that. That was it. It doesn't have any symbolism of Nazism and all that. Regardless of that, this was the 11th Summer Olympics. Berlin in 1931 won the right to host the games over Barcelona, who had to wait 6 decades to host the an Olympics. That was 92 Olympics for Barcy. Now, of course, well, this was only the second time that the AOC actually gathered to vote in a city that was bidding to host these games. And then a later rule was that cities hosting the bid vote could not be awarded the games. So anyway, it would be huge and all that. Adolf Hitler had a new 100,000 seat track and field stadium built, 6 gymnasiums and other smaller arenas. So Hitler did correct with the fact that he wanted to outdo the 32 LA games and make sure that venues were appropriate. The games were the first to be televised, with radio broadcasts reaching 41 countries. Because television and radio were not as advanced in 1936 as it is nowadays. Things were different. All that. You could only watch it live at German viewing parties, if you will. Leni Riefenstahl, one of the best filmmakers in Germany, was commissioned to film the games for $7 million. Her film titled Olympia pioneered many of the techniques now common in filming sports. And this is 1936. Of course, we all know about Hitler seeing the games as an opportunity to promote his government and idealism of racial supremacy, anti-Semitism, and Aryan brotherhood, if you will. A lot of people said Jews should not be allowed to participate in the games. And German Jewish athletes were barred or prevented by fighting methods. There were some female swimmers from a sports club that did participate, but Jewish athletes from other countries were said to have been sidelined to avoid offending the Nazi regime. Of course, they should have been more defiant and all that. Lithuania was expelled because of Berlin's position during Lithuania. Revenues were huge. They were equivalent to 17.4 million euros and all that. This was actually a great Olympics, as Germany would win 101 medals, with the Americans taking second at 57. And a lot of people were shocked that, the United States were not top of the medal board, or even the Russians for that matter. So this was a big Olympics. Little did people know this would be the last Summer Olympics for 12 years because of World War II. Anyway, at an IOC session in Berlin, 14 cities announced their chance to host the 1936 Summer Games. By the time the IOC had a session in Barcelona in 1931, Barcelona and Berlin were left in contention. Egypt had a chance with Alexandria, Budapest, Hungary, Buenos Aires, Argentina, some German cities also, but Berlin was the German thing. Dublin, Ireland, Helsinki, Finland, Lausanne, Switzerland, Montevideo, Uruguay, Rio, and Brazil, and Rome, and Italia also tried to get the Olympics. Although Helsinki, Rio, and Rome would host Summer Olympics later on in life. Helsinki 52, Rio 2016, and Rome 1960. So Barcelona actually held a multi-sport festival at the same time as the IOC session. And some said that, it was going to be huge and all that. So anyway, the voting happened. Berlin beat Barcelona 43-16 for the votes. Of course, this was 1931, 2 years before Hitler and his ruling party took over Germany. So after the Nazis took control of Germany and had the anti-Semitic policies, the IOC held private discussions to try to change the games from Berlin to another city. However, the regime gave assurances that Jewish athletes would be allowed to compete on the German Olympic team. Not really that fast. There were rumors that Rome was going to be the likely host of the Olympics with Berlin's stupidity. There was a lot of organization, and actually, the Berlin Olympics introduced the torch relay. So it would be lit in Greece, and then it would go from Greece all the way to the Olympic venue, and then on the opening ceremony, they would light a cauldron and all that. Of course, this was the first to have live TV coverage and all that. There would be special viewing rooms throughout Berlin, Potsdam. So anyway, that's what happened. Olympic Village was decent and all that. There were 22 venues for the 1936 Summer Olympics and all that. The the Berlin Olympic Stadium would be renovated a couple of times to be part of 2 FIFA World Cups and then World Championships in athletics. So that would be humongous and all that. So the opening ceremony happened on August 1st, 1936. The Hindenburg, 2 years before its disastrous crash in New Jersey, flew the Olympic flag behind it, was featured early in the opening ceremonies. The Parade of Nations proceeded. Of course, Greece entered first, being the birthplace of the Olympics, and the host country going last. That was Deutschland. And nations athletes did give the Nazi salute as they passed Hitler, and some say the Olympic salute too. Nations would actually lower their flags as they passed the Führer. And all that. Of course, Hitler said that he was going to help Germany out and all that. So, anyway, that's what happened and all that. So, anyway, 129 events and 25 disciplines for 19 sports happened. And anyway, there would be 3 major debuts of sports. Basketball would debut in 1936. Canoeing would also be run, in handball. You know, the handball that it's like basketball and all that, or soccer, but you play with a hand, a big ball, and you swat it. Anyways, so baseball and gliding would also be demonstration sports and all that. There would be a lot of great achievements during the Olympics, of course, not all of them perfect, but anyhow. Germany would go to the equestrian events, but you could say, well, it's kind of because they did host the Olympics. There were a few German athletes that won 3 gold medals in gymnastics. Of course, everyone remembers the American teams and Jesse Owens winning 4 gold medals in sprint and long jump events. And actually, when Jesse Owens was in danger of losing a chance to participate in the long jump because his jumps were bad and he kept fouling, his German competitor, Louis Long, in front of Hitler, or at least part of the Nazi Party, according to lore, gave Owens advice to take flight just before the board and qualify easily, and he did. As Jesse Owens did well and won the long jump and all that. Another key athlete was Mac Robinson. If you know the last name, yes, it's familiar because he was the brother of Jackie Robinson, winning the 200-meter silver medal behind Jesse Owens. Owens won in the Jackie Robinson's brother took silver. That's not bad. Louis Samperini did pretty well for himself. This was, of course, the Olympics he took part in, and then he famously was lost in the Pacific fighting against Japan, and they thought he was dead, so they had a memorial race for him, but then he found out he was alive. They did a movie on him early on. 13-year-old Marjorie Gestring won the 3-meter diving event back when you could enter the Olympics at 13. Now you have to be 16. Two Koreans, Sun Ki-chung and Nam Sun-young, actually won medals in the marathon. But they were representing Japan because Japan annexed Korea at this time. So they did their job, all that. Italy would win the soccer competition, all that. So anyway, there would be a lot of things going on here. So 49 countries would compete. 5 of them would make their debuts in 1936. Afghanistan, Bermuda, Bolivia, Costa Rica, and Liechtenstein. So anyway, Canada sent 96 athletes. Germany sent 433, and the Americans sent 359. The medal count was highly big for Germany. They won the medals with 101 medals. 57 by the United States for second. Italy took third with 27. Canada, not really. I don't know how many medals Canada won. But anyway, yeah, Hitler saw the games as an opportunity to promote his government and ideals of racial supremacy, the Aryan Brotherhood, if you will. And they said that Jewish and black people should not be allowed to participate in the games. But of course, when there was a boycott potential coming, Hitler relented. Of course, the problem was that Avery Brundage, who was the United States Olympic Committee president at the time, was a supporter of the games held in Germany, arguing that politics have no place in sports. Of course, Brundage would soon become the IOC president and get himself into a lot of controversy, especially with the Jim Thorpe situation. Anyway, Marty Glickman and Sam Stoller were originally slated to compete in the American 4x100-meter relay race, but was placed by Jesse Owens and Ralph Metcalfe because of the Jewish heritage and all that. However, because African Americans were heavily disliked by the Nazis, not to mention by people in their own country, that's what happened. There was actually a movie called Charlie Chan at the Olympics when Charlie Chan was popular. Unfortunately, it was a stereotypical crapola with Chinese people and all that. So anyway, yeah. Of course, the anti-Semitism was just terrible, and there were chances for a boycott if the Olympics were not going to move and all of that. Also, the big controversy with Jesse Owens is not only did he did in Germany with 4 gold medals in front of Hitler, but the fact of the matter is, well, Hitler congratulated Owens, which was shocking, but the IOC told him, you shake hands with all the winners or no winners at all. So Hitler was caught in a bad position. Regardless of that, another massive controversy with Jesse Owens happened back home in the States. Like most Olympic champions would be feted with great prizes and parades and, a job for life, if you will. But Jesse Owens came back. He got a few parades, he got a few major events, but it felt like he was shunned because of the color of his skin, which was terrible back in the 1930s. Racism just had a massive toll on him. He took a playground instructor job and he raised got money and all that. Anyway, Iris Cummings is an American swimmer, but Iris Cummings has the distinction of being the last competitor of the 1936 Summer Olympics to be surviving. She's 103 years old. Yeah, so she is the last surviving participant of the 1936 Summer Olympics. It's hard to believe that there's still somebody alive who competed at the 1936 Olympics, but it was Iris Cummings. So I'll give her a hand. And of course, Hitler did do a good job in a sense with the Aryan Brotherhood. Of course, I'm not condoning it. I'm just basically saying that it actually worked out for Hitler in the end, which was not the best idea in the world. And then he would use that to annex Hungary, Austria, Poland, and practically start World War II, which ruined the Olympics for 8 years. The 1940 Olympics were canceled. It was supposed to be in Tokyo, but since Japan got some issues with China, it was moved to Helsinki. But of course, the war ruined everything. So the next Summer Olympics would not be held till London in 1948. In Germany, understandably, were kicked out because of their Aryan bullshit. And that's just how I feel. Like, Hitler did a terrible thing, and the IOC should have reset the Olympics and moved it to another city because of the whole Nazism thing. Because who knows, maybe the Nazi Party doesn't get enough worldwide attention for the 1936 Olympics and all that. Just saying. Anyway, I'm just not going to do.